everyone. In this video, we're going to be solving some paragraph completion questions from IPMAT. So in the Best of IPMAT series, the idea is to present to you some interesting questions from past papers so that you can further your learning. Now, these questions have been specifically selected to show you that paragraph completion is not always a bad option. Some of them can be pretty easy if you focus on the right clues within the paragraph. Please ensure that you solve the question on your own by pausing the video before you start looking at the solution. Let's get started with our first question. Now, the directions tell us that each of the paragraphs given below has a sentence missing which is indicated by a blank. In this particular paragraph, the blank is at the end, but we know that the blank can be presented to us anywhere in the paragraph. Now, when the blank is at the end, we might want to look for something that is like a conclusion. However, that is not absolutely necessary. If the blank is at the beginning, then we might want to introduce the topic. And if the blank is in the middle, then we need to ensure continuity with the previous and the sentence after it. So now, it says choose the sentence that seems most logically appropriate to complete the paragraph. One of the things that I always advise doing is reading the paragraph and trying to figure out the overall theme or the topic. It doesn't really take too long. So if I read this, it talks about the architect Charles Correa, and it says that he began his career as an urban planner and he's the one who created New Bombay. It says that in the midst of overpopulated cities, he tried to create quasi-rural housing environments. So this is what was special about him. Now, as we read further, we need to pick out clues that might help us get to the answer. In all of his urban planning commissions, Correa avoided high-rise housing solutions. Why did he do that? Because he was looking at creating a quasi-rural housing environment. Now, let's take a look at our options and see if there is continuity between the option and the sentence just before it. But you also need to keep in mind that we cannot veer away from the overall theme, which is architect Charles Correa and the kind of structures that he created. Our first option says he focused on low-rise dwelling solutions that emphasized the human scale and created a sense of community. Is there a clue that supports this answer? I think there is. Correa avoided high-rise housing solutions. So, if he avoided those, then he was obviously in favor of low-rise dwelling solutions. So, A looks pretty good as an answer, but as usual, we need to look at all the options and make sure that we are eliminating them instead of simply selecting one. B says his early work combined traditional architectural values with modernist use of materials. Now, this is clearly beyond the scope of the passage because the passage does not really talk about traditional values. All it says is that he started his career as an urban planner and that his structures tended to favor a quasi-rural housing environment, but does not talk about traditional or modernist methods. So, let's get rid of option B. C says considerations of the Indian climate drove many of his decisions. Now, it might feel like this is the right answer, but let's understand that climate has not been mentioned anywhere in the paragraph. All that it really talks about is urban planning, the fact that he created Navi Mumbai, and the fact that he avoided high-rise housing solutions. So, option C gets eliminated. Option D says that he was sensitive to the needs of the urban poor. Now, this at least has one relevant word, which is urban. But it doesn't specifically mention in the paragraph that he was focused on the urban poor. So, D also gets eliminated. As I said, it's a fairly easy question if you just search for the clue. Our biggest clue here is that he avoided high-rise housing solutions, and therefore it makes sense to say right after that he focused on low-rise dwelling solutions. So, A becomes our answer.